Hey everybody, Ben here. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for showing up for yourself each and every day. I was drawn to pull a rune. If this resonates with you, feel free to like or comment. If not, don't make it fit. So we got, it was reversed. It is now these, and I almost think of it as now this. You can look at burnout, deprivation in a way of, say we're really working towards something and we burned ourselves out and it's like now this, why are we being forced into a place of uh, solitude's coming through, but reflection, we're forced into reflect, what are we pushing so hard to accomplish, and clearly there's resistance. Are we even going down the right path, or are we trying too hard? Are we going the wrong way? Or I should say the approach is incorrect, or are we forcefully trying to keep something afloat or stable that doesn't belong in our experience? Pull some cards here, and Queen of Cups, emotional wisdom. I often look at this as getting to a place of knowing an awful lot about ourselves, uh, emotional intelligence, and processing things. But given the rune, we'll have to dig into this a bit. Do we know and we're just doing it still out of a wound? You know, like let's say we know this job isn't right for us, but we haven't found the perfect job yet, and we're still pushing because of that paycheck, and we know it's destroying us, and we have no time for ourselves. We're neglecting ourselves and our free time, our need to decompress or enjoy life, and we're chasing this paycheck because we know it, but we're what's that called? I say it a lot in politics. Self. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We know it is a problem, but we're still feeding into it. We're doing it anyway. I keep thinking about that word, and what keeps coming through is self-sabotage. So clearly, naturally that would connect with all of this. You got the Two of Swords reversed. Truth seeker. Uh, just going off that phrase and emotional wisdom, are we still striving? What's coming to mind is we've healed enough, but we're still ripping and tearing. Excuse me. Maybe it is uh, we're trying to find answers or resolve something. Maybe we're having like a little bit of a struggle where we feel like there's resistance or a struggle, and we're still ripping and tearing, but there's nothing there. We are healed enough to the aspect that we don't need to be continuing to think that we are the problem still, or something is holding us back. Also coming to mind of uh, already being there but unable to see it because you're just so dedicated on this very picture postcard looking experience, and that hasn't manifested or came into our existence, our experience yet. So we think we have to keep going with something. We need to keep trying to get these things out of the way or reorganized for that to come in. That is often when they say, remove limitations in the outcome to manifesting in general, or whatever it is that we're seeking in our experience, because we might miss it when we have this view. Not miss it as in the car drove by and I'm never going to see that car again. It is, I can't see it because my perspective is very focused. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Very focused this way. One finger is very focused. One finger, it can only be that one finger. I'm pretty sure I know what finger went up, but maybe we're talking about marriage. And then the Lover's card comes out, partnership. Uh, the kind of came through was, trying to have this perfect body, thinking that if I look this way, I will be able to get a class A mate, or for a partnership or something like that. It is presenting myself a certain way, and I have to look this way. And once I get to that goal, we could use like weight loss, for example. that that was my boy. That throat is really coming for me. Uh, that if I got to that number, everything's going to be okay. I'm free then. I'm where I need to be, and people are going to accept me, and uh, I'm going to be in this next bracket of dating. Same thing financially. As long as I get to this number saved or put away, I'm going to feel safe then. And I'm in a different bracket, or, however we want to look at this. There was some figure or line, very strict line in the sand. And until we cross that, will we feel worthy of receiving or being in whatever situation or experience it is that we dreamed of or were striving towards. But, you're ready now. You don't, well, we can't see that. The devil reversed, empowerment. Oh, this is, this can very well be self-bondage. It doesn't have to be anything external. And these constraints, these chains we put on ourselves, this figure, this line in the sand, and I'm drawing it like this, we are below it. We are not on the other side. And being below it, that line is bondage. It is chained us to whatever outcome is on the other side that we perceive is number one on the other side, and number two, the goal. And it's kind of given this feeling of, I don't know, what, the carrot in front of the horse or the ball in front of the dog, and it just keeps moving along. The goalpost keeps moving. It the harder we try to do things that there's resistance against, we'll never get there. And it can also just be self-acceptance. And by doing so, that is extremely empowering. Until a lot of times, most of our experience here, especially the way we were raised and introduced to society, is placed on the external to validate us, our experience. And we do a lot of things, excuse me, to receive that type of validation from the external. How we perceive us and our status or our success is solely on how the external responds. Getting out of that mindset and doing it in here, when we go to the mirror, our internal feelings and experience and emotions in view of ourselves reflects into the external. So when we have this external and we think that it's reflecting back, that is not very empowering. That is being a victim of circumstances, but embodying it. Until we build that inside and we project that out, the external then reflects it. So if we are struggling in here, the external will reflect that. So it really comes down to getting to a place of accepting that, we are good enough, we are healed enough, we are safe enough to be here in whatever space is on the other side of the line, and removing that line. Four of Pentacles, materialist. This is the external to me. Everything external. If I have this, I'll have met my goal. I will feel this way or that way. And that is the external. That is matter. That is earthly things. It is real, it is tangible, it is touchable, whether another person, money, or literally material structures, items, products, whatever it is. We are allowing that to dictate to we're allowing the external to dictate how we're going to feel in here, and that will always move. It's always going to be moving with that view, that perspective, until we create it in here where we're at. Will the external follow? So uh, not saying this is totally in line with this, but the grabbing, the trying to fill a void, we are reaching for things to fill this void in the external, thinking it's going to make us feel a certain way in here, and it never will because we don't embody it in here yet. And until we embody it in here, does the external follow? And then you'll start to see, wow, I don't even need this, or I don't even care about this. And this is why they always say with manifesting, feel the way you would feel when you already have it, because then you don't care for it. I mean, you care, but you don't. There's no yearning for it. There's no struggle, because when you actually would feel that way, it would appear because you don't need it anymore. So when it's there, it's like, yeah, I don't even need this anymore. Like, yeah, it's here. It benefited my life for a bit, but I don't need this because I already feel the way I would feel if I had it. Does that make sense? It's very simple that way. So when we feel the way that we would feel if we had this amount of money, it's there. It's in our reality because it's there. I'm not yearning for it anymore. So we remove these, if we're reaching and grabbing, kind of like I said, to fill this void and nothing's fulfilling it, when you generate it in here, uh, maybe what we wanted doesn't matter as much anymore because we already feel that way. We already feel safe or secure in our body, our body image, or how we would feel if we had a partner, or a relationship, or a different home, or a different car, or a different job, whatever it is. We already feel that way. So we need to generate it inside, and then the mirror reflects and the external fulfills it. So I was going to say this is the last card, and Eight of Wands, progress. It's normally seen as fast movement. It is a process. It is. We are rewiring ourselves. We are relearning. We are experiencing things. And I just feel drawn to say, I know I say this often, but if we could jump timelines, and we're not going to know anybody there. All we know is what we're carrying, our emotions, our past, our traumas. What would you want on there, on the other side? A lot of people pick material like items. A lot of money, fancy car, fancy house. And with that fancy car, I can get a fancy uh, partner, or with all this money, all these hot people are going to want to be with me. Okay, but in that experience, you bring all your shit with, all your trauma, all your emotions with, and you're still going to be insecure if that's the case. Even though you have money, that if we're insecure, we're still going to carry that with. We're not going to have the courage. We're going to have problems of how we look in the mirror. All those things still come with. But we have money now. But that doesn't matter. We're still got anxiety. We're still depressed, whatever it may be. Or on that other timeline, what would you choose? To heal all this, so no matter what's on the other side or what comes our way in that experience, we can get through it, we can handle it, we can stand strong in our sovereignty, in our strength, in our authenticity. I think we want that more than anything. What's coming to mind is, like, let's reference some people that have like a lot of money have a miserable family life or no love. And then we can look at people that struggle and don't have a lot of money, but maybe their family is so loving and caring, and that family unit is so strong. So they can get through anything because they have each other, and that love is so powerful and uplifting and true. There's a benefit to, in our mind, all the money, but there's a much more benefit in having that love and that strength And if we can do that for ourselves, it is unstoppable. I'll leave it there. If this resonated, feel free to like, comment, share, or subscribe, and I will talk to you all later.